Having a child can be a massively rewarding and beautiful experience, but as I'm sure you can imagine, it also comes with some major challenges. So how do you know if you're ready to become a parent? In this video, I will present 5 questions to ask yourself before you make that leap. So stick around. Hi, I'm Leslie and I am a life coach based in Brisbane, Australia. I'm also the mother of a very active toddler, and lately I've been thinking a lot about just how much having my daughter has impacted my life. And, as ready as I was to become a mother, nothing could have fully prepared me for the realities of raising a child. As far as major life choices go, the decision to become a parent is right up there with, the largest decisions you can make in your life. And while it's important to make sure things like your finances and your health are in order, it's also important to look deep inside yourself to prepare for what may lie ahead. So before you go all in to try to have a child, it's wise to slow down and engage in some self-reflection. So I have 5 questions to help you get started. Question number 1. How much personal time do you typically need? I am not one of those people who believes that having a child automatically disqualifies you from having an identity of your own. Far from it. But you really need to manage your expectations here. If you regularly do things like go trekking solo into the woods for days at a time just to get some headspace, you're probably going to need a different strategy for resetting yourself mentally or emotionally when you have a child. You really have to consider how much personal time you are ready to sacrifice, and be prepared to sacrifice even more than that, potentially, when it's needed. I'm the kind of person who really needs time to myself to recharge and to keep my head straight. And the only reason I can do that now while raising a toddler is that my husband Tony and I have explicitly scheduled time, during the week for our individual self-care. So I usually get Monday and Thursday evenings to take time out for myself to catch up with friends or do my parkour training or just be by myself. But it's funny though, lately it seems like all I want to do on my Mondays and Thursdays is just kind of sink into a little cuddle puddle with my little family and just drink cups of tea. So it's really interesting to see how my need for alone time kind of ebbs and flows. And you may find that yourself as a parent as well. And all that means is that, coordinating your personal time requires teamwork and adaptability. And that leads me to the second question. Question number 2. Are you and your partner on the same page about parenthood? There's a lot of negotiation required in any relationship, but if you have a partner who you intend to share parenthood with, that really raises the stakes. So it's important to agree on the fundamentals. For instance, if your partner doesn't really want to have a child, it would be a tragedy to stay in that relationship hoping that they'll change their mind, because chances are they won't. And down the line, that can breed resentment and lead to a heartbreaking split. Either that, or one of you may feel pressured to give in to the other's wishes, which can result in the same resentment and the same unfortunate ending. Other things you should be on the same page about are things like how many kids to have. Tony and I were in agreement pretty early on that we wanted to be a one and done family, so we will not be having a second child. You and your partner may feel differently about the size of family you want, so it's important not to assume you're in agreement about it. Communicate. Also, talk about who will be responsible for all of the various child rearing tasks and household responsibilities. Talk about how you want your child to be educated, what kinds of values you want to instill in them. And being clear about these things before you go about conceiving that child is very important. Question number 3. Why do you want to have a child? People have all kinds of reasons for wanting to have a child. Some are good, some may be less good. But either way, it's important to really examine what your reasons are and how they align to your personal values. That said, if your reasons for wanting to have a child include things like trying to fix your relationship or feeling left out because all your friends have kids, then we need to talk. Now, I'm not going to sit here and list a bunch of reasons that I think are valid for having a child because my context is not the same as your context. Your reasons for wanting to have a child may be closely connected to your cultural background, your own childhood experiences. It could be your general love of babies and children, or it could be something else. But if you are clear about your reasons for wanting a child, then that can really help carry you through the challenges associated with being a parent, or even the challenges associated with getting pregnant or staying pregnant. Some of you already know that my pregnancy journey was not easy. I fell pregnant very easily 5 times, but 4 of those times resulted in a miscarriage. And I'll tell you what, the main thing that helped me persevere and keep trying until I had our daughter was that every time I looked into Tony's eyes, it was like I could already see her, like she was waiting for us to claim her. I looked at my husband and I saw him as a father long before our daughter came around. And now every time I see them together, it's like massive confirmation that having a child was absolutely the right decision for us. Having a child is not a decision to be taken lightly, and if you're really struggling to identify your reasons for wanting a child, get in touch and let's talk about it one-on-one. Question number 4. How much outside help do you expect? If you subscribe to the belief that it takes a village to raise a child, now is a really good time to take stock of who exactly you have in this village and what role they may play. And here is another situation where explicit communication is crucial. It's dangerous to assume that people are just going to be there to help you out with your kid whenever you need them to. But that said, there may be people who can provide support in different ways. That may be through providing childcare or hand-me-down clothes or something like hosting playdates. If your own parents are around, they may be happy to step in to help, or they may be looking forward to retirement and having no responsibilities. But clarifying your expectations with the people in your village and negotiating where necessary can really help to give you a slightly clearer picture of what your first year or so as a parent may look like. Of course, you can never be fully prepared or really know what it's going to look like until you're actually in it. And that brings me to my final question. Number 5. How well do you adapt to change. Having a child requires a great deal of adaptability. There's really no way around it. You can plan and plan and plan all you want, but sometimes things will happen that will require you to change or completely abandon those plans. For example, you may plan to breastfeed, but then find that it's not possible for you to do so, so you have to change your plan. It's also quite common to experience changes in your relationship with your partner after having a child. Like when the new mom has to, understandably, focus most of her attention on the new baby, the other partner may feel somewhat neglected in a romantic sense, and there may even be some guilt attached to that feeling of being neglected. The reality is that you may experience all kinds of emotions that may feel completely new to you because now they're in this intense, very heady new context. And that's natural. Having a child is a huge upheaval, and the changes it may cause in your life can be really hard to predict. Now, of course, these questions are like the tip of the iceberg when you're thinking about starting a family, and the only person who really knows whether you're ready is you. But it helps to have someone to sound these questions out with, so if you're thinking about trying to have a child but you need some clarity around your decision, go to my website, leslievcoaching.com, and book a free consultation with me. Also, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment, and share this video with someone you know who is thinking about becoming a parent. I'm also curious to know if there are any parents watching this that have other questions to add. If so, please leave those in the comments also. And finally, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when I upload a new video. Alright, have an awesome week, and I'll see you next time.